Is TikTok becoming a search engine?
Let's talk about that.
So, Lou, we are back in the tea talk set. I've got tea.
I've got tea.
Do you?
Yeah.
What type of tea you got?
I've got time tea.
Time tea.
Yeah.
And I've got, it's one of our favourites.
Is it?
It's biscuit tea.
Oh, I love biscuit tea.
Yeah. Yorkshire biscuit tea.
Oh,
Sponsors the Evergreen agency. Not really, but I wish it did because it's really good. So yeah, we're going to enjoy our teas today, and we're talking about TikTok.
Yes, we are.
Which is one of my favourite things, I'll admit.
Is it?
I do love TikTok.
Do you?
I go on TikTok, I would say every day.
Wow.
Genuinely.
How much time do you spend on there?
It does tell me.
Yeah, I bet it does.
But I try not to look. Because it would be worrying.
Yeah.
It's worrying when you're scrolling on there throughout the night, and then it comes up with one of those, it will occasionally get a post from TikTok saying it's time to go to sleep.
Oh, wow.
And it's sort of like, I feel a bit judged.
Just ignore.
Yeah, just go, power through. Keep going.
I'm okay.
Yeah,
I can make
just
my
keep
own choices.
scrolling. Yeah. When did you get off TikTok?
I don't have TikTok.
I know.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
You need to get on there.
Do I?
Well, maybe you do.
Maybe I should.
If it's becoming a search engine.
Wow. Yeah. Maybe I should actually.
So
That's
I guess
a good argument.
The quick answer then, what do you think? Is it becoming a search engine?
I don't know. I think yes.
Okay.
If you think of a search engine as what a fundamental thing a search engine is, then yes, people go on there, they search for answers.
Okay.
They search questions looking for answers. Is it used in the same way as Google and Amazon and Bing? I don't know.
So you're saying that maybe, and correct me if I'm wrong here, that it's potentially yes being used as a search engine from an information gathering point of view, but not so much from a paid point of view.
Perhaps.
The way that the others are used mainly for like shopping and such.
Yes, only because when I was just doing some research, and it's actually you get a real mixed response from clients who do TikTok shop and who use TikTok to do direct sales.
Yes.
Some people have great success on it, some people don't, and so that's what makes me wonder whether. And people do buy stuff off there, right?
I do.
I know, right?
Although I've got to say, this is one for you people of TikTok who are selling things. Can we please stop selling rubbish? I bought a genuine. This is fresh for me.
I'm excited.
I used it was a water flosser that I bought from TikTok Shop.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, I used it last night. It was dreadful.
Oh,
it was.
I'm really sad to hear that.
I was warned from other people in the office. They were saying you've got to be careful. It's really powerful. It might hurt your gums a bit at first. You're going to have to get used to it. It was the weakest thing I've ever experienced. It just did not. There's no way it had any effect. But that being said, I still frequently buy things off of TikTok Shop.
Okay, interesting. Because apparently, according to this stat, so this is from eMarketer, Amazon is still number one for direct shopping.
Yeah.
Google is second, Bing is third, YouTube, and then TikTok is counted as ninth. And interestingly, interestingly, it's not even counted as a search engine; it's social media.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And where did you get that information?
eMarketer.
So eMarketer doesn't think it's a search engine.
No, they're not classifying it in the top.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because you could argue that Amazon often gets counted as the number one search engine, right? Depending on who you're talking to.
Yeah, true.
So again, it's that whole what's the definition?
Well, but it's also a bit like Reddit.
Yes,
you could argue that Reddit is a search engine.
Yeah.
And most of my Google searches, if I actually want any kind of actually good information, I will add Reddit to the end of it.
Do you know what I spend Reddit is my version of TikTok. I probably spend too much time on Reddit.
Interesting.
I just love.
It's the Wild
people.
West.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a dangerous place.
Yeah.
It's a scum of. What's the Star Wars quote? It's a hive of scum and villainy.
Although with my leopard gecko, some people really help me out on there. So I don't think it's all.
It's not all bad.
No, it's not all bad. So that's super interesting. I think that Google's really cornered that definition of search engine, even to the point
Yes.
where myself, I mean, it's like what I do day in, day out, but
You
even to
say-
myself, I couldn't, like, oh, actually, what is a search engine? How should we be defining it?
Yes,
And
interesting.
then, yeah, like even,
Because most people will say, I'll just Google that.
yeah, I'll Bing it.
Or Bing it. Or Bing it. Yeah, or Bing it. I
Yeah.
mean, I have a Google Pixel phone, for example. So if I'm searching anything, it's automatically going through Google.
Yes.
And so even I guess you could say even my argument that when I'm looking for information, I'm using Reddit on the end. I'm still doing that on Google.
Yeah.
So in
Not
terms
even
of
going directly to Reddit.
no, I don't go through directly to Reddit. I'll do it on Google because Google has a better way of organizing the results.
Yeah.
Whereas if I were to go onto Reddit,
You're
it's
right.
it's not as well
Yeah, but it's
organized.
kind of fun, isn't it? Because then you're down another rabbit hole and you're like,
Yeah,
wow, how did I get here?
True. So we've sort of clarified that it is in some ways and it isn't in some ways, and so. But what do you think about the future then? Do you think it's going to go more and more towards being a proper search engine, or in the eyes of what was it, eMarketer?
eMarketer, yeah.
eMarketer.
There's other bits. So for example, Adobe, I looked at to see how their stats and
Yeah.
so to answer your question, yes, possibly just because of generational shifts. So
Yeah.
apparently 10% of Gen Z have never used Google.
What, the Sigma? I had to get that one in there.
Yeah, right?
That's actually a Gen A term.
Yeah,
So I'm a bit off my mark there.
Yeah, don't mix your generational.
Yeah.
So in terms of that, yes, I think so. And if you look at then some 64% of Gen Z use TikTok as a search engine.
Yeah.
Google have come out and said that 41% of people use TikTok as a replacement search engine to Google, and that was their language. I haven't added that in.
Oh, okay.
And when you see how what TikTok is being used for, the top thing, it's much to our point before, is the how-tos and the reviews, and which is very googly, and that's after Google, YouTube, and Bing. So I do suspect we'll see, if we're already at 41%, then I expect it will get bigger.
Do you think, and I don't want to have a very huge generalization here, but do you think that more and more in newer generations, there's almost an aversion to reading more than watching?
Oh my God, can you read my notes?
Is that what you got on there? Genuinely, I have not seen
Seriously?
these notes.
Yeah, so there's the visual search has a much higher retention than text-based. So that's handy for us.
It is handy for me.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe I think even like myself, if I'm finding that I have to for example, I had to learn how to play Risk, the board game recently.
Interesting.
I had to.
You had to.
I had to. And I started reading the instructions. I looked up instructions on Google. I just couldn't. And then I went to YouTube to.
Interesting.
And I just think that perhaps just as the way we are as people.
I think personally I learn better. I'm not much of a visual learner.
Interesting.
You know that you've got visual, auditory, and kinesthetic learning. I'm absolutely a kinesthetic learner. And for those who don't know, that means doing things sort of with your hand. I need to get on the tools and give it a go and learn how to do it.
But you don't do that through visual, watching someone else do it and then mimicking them.
That's easier than reading it, for sure. But I'm absolutely the type of person who would just... It's a bit of a classic sort of male stereotype of, I don't need the instructions, I'll just figure it out.
Yeah.
But I do kind of sit within that stereotype.
Yeah, but I think most people, I think I do too, a little bit, and I'm not male.
No.
So yeah, I think it's just easier, isn't it, when you can like mirror what someone's doing.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting point, and I think that's probably why a lot of people are going towards TikTok as a search engine, because there are so many things on there that, like you said, the how-to.
Yeah. And the reviews.
And actually, funnily enough, there's one thing that I constantly get on my TikTok is video editing tips. and that might be something like, it might be a tool in the editor that I use that I just haven't come across, and it'll be like a quick 30-second video on this is this tool, this is how it's used, and that for me is just great.
Yeah.
And I think also, and tell me if this is in your notes, do you think that with the movement away from text into video, and then specifically the movement into short form video, that's another driving force behind its popularity? Because I would imagine with text, you usually have, one, it takes longer to read something than to listen to someone say it.
Yeah.
But two, it's usually quite long form text.
Yes.
Whereas with video, specifically TikTok, you get all of this information within 30 seconds a lot of the time. And that, for me, going back to the video editing tips, it's when someone can say, this is something that you might not know, this is how it's used, this is why it's good, in 30 seconds, that's amazing, because I can just be doing a mundane task at home, just have TikTok on,
Yeah.
and I'm still learning at the same time.
I think this is, we're in long form right this minute.
We are.
So I think,
But someone might see it, might see this as a clip.
yes.
You might be
that's
watching
true.
this very moment as a clip.
So I think, there's lots of arguments, and I didn't actually write anything down about this,
No,
but there's
okay.
lots of arguments about the attention span, isn't there? Like,
There is.
so I think, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think probably short form and is more engaging. I think from our point of view as advertisers, yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And that leads on to a really good point. Can you do ads on TikTok?
Well, that is definitely a answer.
Let's get him on then.
Let's get him. I'm going now.
Before we go any further, if you're enjoying today's Tea Talk, you'll love our Grow with Evergreen podcast. Specifically created for home, garden, and lifestyle brands, it's a podcast dedicated to discussing paid media and marketing. Every episode, we're joined by a brand that wants to grow online. We delve into their business, dissect what they're doing, and define a digital growth strategy they can take and deploy into their business. And best of all, you get to listen or watch along, then take those learnings into your own business. Make sure you check it out on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. But for now, let's get back to today's Tea Talk.
So Matt, welcome.
Thanks for coming.
This is
Thanks for having me.
it's unorthodox, this setup, I'll admit, but we do what we have to get the answers we need. So I asked Lou just now, can you do ads on TikTok? And we think you're the man for that question.
Do you think we can do ads on TikTok?
I think we could.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Are you guys even on TikTok?
I am.
I'm not.
I love
Are
it.
you?
No.
I'm
Are
on it
you?
every day.
Can you tell if you get an ad or not on it?
I often get tricked
Yeah.
and then feel slight shame
Oh.
about the idea that someone's tricked me.
Clickbait.
So then I will, almost out of spite, move on. I'm like, how dare you trick me?
That's so interesting, isn't it? Because if you're feeling that, probably a high
It is
proportion of-
interesting, yeah, because I will almost, it doesn't even matter if I'm interested in it. I'll be like, I can't believe I fell for that. Move on.
Can you remember the brands who've tricked you over the brands that
No.
haven't tricked? Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Although I will say, I've bought things on TikTok Shop when they've come up as someone selling something, but I don't know if that's an ad. Because that's just someone trying to sell something. Is
That's
it?
Yeah, it
interesting.
could be organic.
Yeah.
It could be organic. Doesn't
So,
necessarily need to be an ad.
so I think those work more on me.
Yes.
Whereas when I see that it says ad,
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever clicked on one of those.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Whereas when it's someone just selling something, and sometimes I swipe past those because they are very over the top. They'll be like, someone's getting fired. They put the
Yes.
price down on
Oh,
all
I
this
don't
stuff,
like those ones.
and it's like, come on.
I think there's a
Like,
bit of a scale in
there
terms
is.
of like how clickbaity it is, and then if that is like completely not aligned with what the offering is,
Yeah.
then that is a bit icky.
Mm.
But yeah, in short, obviously you can run ads on TikTok.
Can you
Nice.
target keywords?
No, so it's a very similar setup to Meta.
Interesting.
So Pinterest, yes, you can do keywords. TikTok works very similarly to Meta, so it's more kind of interest-based,
Okay.
custom audiences, lookalike audiences, and things like that. But then also it kind of is the same in the sense of like the broad AI targeting as well. Now it's moving more
So if you
towards that. So
interesting. If you can't do keywords, does that mean it's not a search
That's what I was just
engine?
thinking.
so the way that it works from a keyword, when we're launching an ad, we're not putting in keywords to say we want people to see this ad based on this keyword, but the keyword needs to go in the content.
Okay.
Also, it's matched.
So you do still use keywords.
So I can't put into the campaign keywords to put those ads in front of people with those keywords.
Yeah.
But we need to think about keywords in the content.
Okay.
Because TikTok is learning about what people want to see. So if you think that a lot of the content that you see, you won't be following that person.
No.
If you think about it.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're kind of relevant when you do
get
them.
most of the time.
And that's because like TikTok's learning about the content that you interact with.
Yes.
It's reading what is in the video visually. It's reading what's in the transcript of the video.
Okay.
There's the hashtags that go in the caption, and then there's the keywords that are in the caption. The caption's a lot smaller than, say, Instagram.
Yeah.
So there's not as much to work with, which is why, therefore, it's even more important that we are thinking about when we're creating TikTok ads that we're including those keywords in the creative itself.
Right. Interesting.
And that doesn't mean putting a load of text in the ad or in
Yeah,
the video, but
yeah.
it's thinking about, if it was like a voiceover ad or a UGC ad, it's being very kind of strategic in terms of what you're actually saying, because Meta's then TikTok.
Wow, that was a great reaction.
TikTok is learning from all of that stuff, and then it will use that to target.
Nice. So in terms of then, how would you compare it to Meta, in terms of like the potential there?
It's very similar, to be honest, and it's like Meta's a bit more ahead in terms of its AI and the way that it's like rolling out that Advantage Plus stuff.
Yeah.
And then TikTok is essentially following shortly behind.
Okay.
So in terms of the kind of approach to TikTok ads and the way it works, it's very, very similar to Meta.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's more about thinking with TikTok ads, it's the audience and the demographic.
Sure.
If you are very much more, the demographic on TikTok is becoming an older age range now than when it first launched.
Yeah.
So it's not so much of a thing, but just kind of like very simply, like if you were a brand that had a target audience of a younger demographic, then you might want to prioritize TikTok.
Let's go.
I don't think I fall into that younger demographic anymore.
I've been trying to sneak in a couple of phrases.
I've literally just twigged.
Yeah. Before I said, what the Sigma?
Yeah.
I'm appealing to all the younger demographics. Yeah. I'm a man of many cultures. Clearly. So,
but just to finish on the, and then the difference in terms of the creative.
Yeah.
It really needs to just be entertaining, and you want your audience to kind of like really feel something on TikTok, because that is what people expect to see there more than that.
Sure. Yeah. So in a way, you need to go more down that emotional route on TikTok than you do on Meta. Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
It's interesting. One thing that I've also found, again, with the TikTok shop stuff, is I almost have a hesitancy to click on the actual shop link, because once you do that once, TikTok will just show it to you a million times through so many different other types of people.
Yeah.
So if I'm ever so slightly tempted to buy, for example, a water flosser, which I won't be buying again.
Have you got one?
I bought one on TikTok. Don't get it on TikTok.
Oh no.
It's terrible.
Hopefully it didn't do anything too
damaging. It's just very weak.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not what you want.
No.
Flosser, is it?
But when I looked at that for the first time and decided to not get one the first time, it just showed me countless other people selling the same thing, which eventually I mean, it works for them clearly because it led to get me to buy one.
It did in the end, yeah.
But you get what you pay for. Unless it's shoes, because I've got multiple pairs of shoes off TikTok Shop, and they're all great.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
I think it just does depend, doesn't it, on the brand?
It does depend.
But that happens on Google too. You get some really not great
It's true.
resellers and sellers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we need to be careful as advertisers. Like, if that's different brands, then that's one thing. But one of our things that we need to be looking at when we're advertising our client ads is the frequency.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
agreed.
and that's a metric that we look at, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that we're not annoying people basically. 'Cause
Absolutely.
That just hurts the engagement.
Absolutely.
And then that hurts the conversion.
Yeah. 100%. So, back to the original question.
Yeah.
And I'll ask both of you: is TikTok becoming a search engine?
Yes.
It already is, isn't it?
Yes, I'd say so. Yes, it depends.
Yes, it depends. So we've got a yes/maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
A yes from you.
I guess it depends on.
Yeah, see?
Okay, we're getting lots of those animations in this video.
What does TikTok class themselves as? Probably not a search engine.
Well, I'm not asking TikTok, Matt.
Oh, you're
I'm asking you.
It's a search social hybrid.
I like that.
Yes.
I like that.
Well
I
done.
think that's how I would classify
Yeah,
it. I
same.
would say it's a hybrid because you do go on there for information from a search point of view, but from a buying point of view, it doesn't really align with search. It's more social.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's both.
You just started a new
There you
name,
go.
Matt.
We need to come up with a name
We need
for
to
it.
ask ChatGPT.
We
No,
need to
we'll
ask
Bing. We'll Bing it.
ChatGPT.
Bing it.
Bing it and then ask ChatGPT
up with a new
what
name.
is the name? Yeah, we'll let you know. And if we come up with something, we'll get back to you right away. We'll make a whole video about it. So thank you both for joining
you.
me.
Thanks for
this
having
is a
me.
first for this set, having 3 people here. Unless, of course, you watched our April Fool's video, which I believe will be out by the time this video goes out. If you haven't watched it, go and check it out. It's a really good time. And we had a whole lot of people on this set. So, yeah.
Tiny space. Yeah.
Go and check that out. Thank you both for joining me on this episode. If you haven't already, go and check out our other content. That's our we've got Tea Talks, which is here. We've got our Grow with Evergreen podcast, where Erin talks to a guest in the home garden and lifestyle industry about their marketing challenges. And then we also have my personal favorite, Evergreen Uncut, which is our behind the scenes series that follows us wherever we go all across the country and whatever we do, including one of the recent ones, which was coming up with a short 5-second clip for our Evergreen stories, where we all ended up getting hard hats and high
That was
vises
so fun.
and a very funny staged 5-second video. So go and check those out. And once again, if you don't already subscribe to us, Archie told me the other day that we've had a whole host of new people watching our stuff, and now 100% of the people watching, that's all of you, are not subscribed. So think about that. You could be the one to break the mold.
Like and subscribe, guys.
There you go. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Did you record?
I was having a conversation with Archie.
Oh, what were you chatting about?
I was just telling him
Archie.
how exclusive this is going to be for him, because I've not stopped recording, but no one else is going to see this. But
Oh,
Archie will see this.
yeah. Did you know that his sister treats him as Google? That she's never Googled
Oh,
anything.
really?
Yeah,
So
but
Archie's becoming a search engine.
he's going to be number 10.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Wow. Can we put ads on Archie?
I am going to try.